Welcome to Quilting with Mary Beth and Donna. On this episode, we talk about challenges and the upcoming quilt retreat, and then we have a great conversation with Patti Meier of KC Maker's Studio, a quilt store in Mission, Kansas. We're glad you're here with us today. Hello, Mary Beth.
Hello, Donna.
So,
Yeah.
you've been making salsa today.
Yes, salsa today. It is a salsa day.
Was
It
it all
is,
your tomatoes or was it somebody else's too?
nope, all mine. And so far I have 16, 16 quarts. No, 16 pints. And Rod's putting 3 or 4 more in, the last 4. So,
Cool.
and I made them too hot. It's
For
hot.
who?
Jalapeno me.
Too hot for you?
Yeah. Maybe even for him, because I tasted it and I went, and then I went outside and took him a little dish of it, and I was trying to cool it off the whole way out there, and then when I got out there, I said, "Here, try this," and he took a bite of it, and he goes, "Man, I can hardly taste it, it's so hot." And I said, "Like hot temperature?" And he goes, "No, like hot Scoville."
Mm.
So,
Oops.
yeah, what do you do with 20 jars of hot salsa?
You make 20 more jars of not hot salsa
Yeah, if you had 20 if I had 15 more pounds of potatoes
potatoes.
tomatoes, I
That,
would, but I don't.
oh, well.
15 pounds, that's what I did this morning.
Well, you've got a list of people you don't like. You can always send
I know, I
them
was thinking, well, looks like this'll be Christmas presents.
the naughty list.
I mean, some of my people like hot, you know? Mine's probably too mild for them. So I just like
Yeah.
it where it just gives you a little burn in the back of your throat, you know? Just a
Yeah.
little,
Yeah.
not much.
I don't understand people who are like it's so hot that,
I
you
know.
know,
Eat ghost peppers, like, fresh out of the
yeah.
garden or whatever. Who does that?
Yeah.
Not me.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm looking at your studio. It looks like you're getting your act together, which is kind of nice.
I am. It looks good. Everything's like there's a place for everything so far. I don't like all this back, the wire racks, but it was all I could do for the time. Um,
Yeah, that's fine.
yeah,
You
Rod
you
didn't.
know, Rome
Huh?
wasn't built in a day.
That's right. And Rod didn't want me to buy cabinets and stuff until we knew what we had, which I thought
Smart.
that's not what I want to do. I just wanted to get cabinets so I could just put everything away and not have piles laying on the floor. And then when I had piles laying on the floor, that's when I went to that one site and said, "Help." And then had lots of
Told you what to do.
they had lots of information on IKEA, IKEA, IKEA. I don't
What
really want
that was
wood, you know?
you don't want wood?
No,
Is
I
that
don't
what you
want
said?
pressed wood. I
Pressed
don't
wood, yeah.
Yeah, I just
Yeah, IKEA is fine until you have to move it, and then it's totally worthless, because
yeah, or
once you move it, like, the structure is just gone, and you have to, do something
well,
else with
and
it.
and if you mess up when you're putting it together, you can mess it up pretty good, so
Yeah,
I just don't wanna deal with all that. I'd rather get, like, say, uh, China Hutch or something like that and paint it cool and,
yeah.
have that. So,
Well, you'll
I
figure it out.
yeah, we'll figure it out. I'm watching Marketplace because I figure something will come up and I'll go, "That's it." You know?
Yeah. Do they still make, like, unfinished wood places?
I haven't seen any in a long time.
Because those are always good too because they're made well.
I just want glass doors on it, though. That's hard to find, I think. I don't know.
Or you could put, well, I mean, you could have stuff made like in a kitchen, like a kitchen would be, but
Yeah, like, the guy that did my bathroom cabinets and stuff, he's
yeah.
a cabinet maker. I could have him come in and do it, and Rod would probably have a coronary, but because 'cause I'm sure it wouldn't be cheap. But I don't know, I need to just call him and ask him what it would be.
Yeah.
Tell him what I want.
Well, and you could also do it, at Home Depot too, and
Yeah.
just maybe have doors made, which wouldn't be so
Oh,
bad
yeah,
either.
that's true too.
Um,
Anyway,
well, I'm glad to see you are not overwhelmed because I kinda thought last week you were gonna just quit.
you know what? It was so nice. I mean, having this room, oh my gosh, those ladybugs are everywhere in here. All up the top of the ceiling. They were congregated in a corner, and Rod sprayed them with bug spray and got them dead. Now I've got just as many up there. I hate this time of year.
Okay, you just went off on a squirrel.
Sorry.
Um,
I just looked up and there they were.
what was the question that I asked you?
Well, it's a beautiful room and
Oh,
I couldn't wait to get in here. And then when I did, I moved all my stuff in. It was just like it was in just heaps everywhere. And
yeah. Well,
I
that's overwhelming too, because then you realize how much money you have invested in piles of good stuff.
you know what he said? He said, um, you know, you probably don't have to buy every quilting gadget there is.
You do have an
A gadget
excessive amount
FOMO.
of stuff. Yeah, you do.
Thank you. You're my
And
friend.
I also have to say that 90% of the time where I see you put something up on Facebook, I'm like, "Don't do it," because all you're gonna get is people telling you what to do, and,
I
you
know,
know
I
and
know.
really,
But
do you really wanna know what people
I was in
think?
a panic, and I thought maybe they could help me, and no, they couldn't.
So, I just we need to you cross stitch that on a little sampler and put it up next to your computer that says, "Mary Beth, don't ask." Just don't ask.
Yeah,
Nothing good comes from asking.
right.
So,
Okay.
okay, and so then yesterday, um, ugh, um, you wasted 8 minutes of my life on a video
Oh,
about the supposed, I wanna call it a non, uh,
I don't even remember what we talked about.
it was for a non-challenge challenge. You basically said, "Do whatever you want, just post pictures."
Listen,
Like,
it's because when I come up with a great idea or what I think's a great idea, everybody whines, "I don't like this," or "I don't wanna do that," or I'm
you know what? You just
like, "Okay,
have
then
to
don't do
say,
it."
"Don't do it."
Yeah, do what works for you. I can't help you.
But
I'm
that's what
out.
you did yesterday. You're like, "Well, this is what I thought, and the da 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 da," and, like, you just do what you wanna do.
Do what works for you. I mean, I've come up with what is this the 3rd year we've done the Quilting with Mary Beth challenge, 3rd or 4th? I'm like,
It'll be the 4th year and probably the 3rd year that it hasn't needed to be done. 'Cause 'Cause you
"Oh,
didn't
thank
even
you."
participate this year.
What?
You didn't even participate this year. You're like, "Well, this is stupid.
You
I'm
know what
not
I
doing it."
did? I did 6 quilts in the beginning, the first 2 months, and then yesterday when I was cleaning out the jar, there was 3 in there that I already made quilts, and I didn't pull them out of there, so, I kinda did the jar.
Well, and I like my idea. I think we need to have a net negative on the stuff. And like I said, you can buy 5 things, but you have to sew, you know
10 things.
correct. So you come down so you have fewer projects today than you had a year ago.
Right. Yeah, that
That
makes
doesn't mean you can't buy new stuff. You just have to
okay.
do
Okay,
twice as much
I'll
other
post
stuff.
that. I'll post that tomorrow in a written thing, so you don't have to read the whole thing, then it won't waste your life.
No, I want the video. Oh my goodness. Uh, so, we have a retreat. You have a retreat next week.
Quilting with Mary Beth,
Are you
annual.
ready? Second annual.
We have 30 people coming.
How many beds do you have?
There's, like it sleeps 50, I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh, the 30 people, so there's gonna be a lot of people
in
in the
the
big room, huh?
sewing room. Yeah, but not so much that
How
And
many did
I've asked her if I could come the day before to set up the tables because that was chaos last year.
Yeah.
Trying to get the tables set up with everybody coming in early, and I
How
know there
many
were
officially did Amy have?
mm, I'm gonna guess 25 maybe.
Okay, so there's gonna be it's gonna be you're basically gonna have a one table for everybody, correct?
I don't know. That's why I wanna go over there and set things up and see what we can come up
Because
with.
that's difficult too, because then you have to separate your tables more. Hmm,
Yeah. So I just need to go over there. I'd like to go over early and just be able to look at it and figure out how many tables to put where. But I
and
mean,
you have to I mean, go ahead.
Amy goes in early, so she said just to ask her and see what she says. She goes a day early and sets it all up. It would be helpful if I could.
Um, no, I don't see why you couldn't be unless there's somebody there
Yeah,
before.
unless they've got it, like when we went with for Amy's retreat a couple weeks ago, um, we had to be out of there by 2 o'clock because they were coming in
Yeah,
to set up for the next one. So, yeah, which was the
and if
next. No.
yeah, and that'll be a little different because that was during the week, which I don't think they normally have people there, like Monday to Thursday or whatever.
Yeah, I don't know.
Let's see. You've got 30 people coming. Um, are you bringing everything you own or just 90% of the stuff you own?
No, I plan to bring, of course, those block of the months that I didn't work on at the last
Mhm.
retreat or didn't get finished, didn't even make a dent. Um, I'm gonna bring the quilts that need to be have binding put on them, I think, because that's kind of, like
Yeah.
mindless sort of. And that way, if I get interrupted or feel the need to talk to
You can not be binding a quilt. Then you're gonna be mad because you should have gotten all the bindings done, then you'll be mad.
I know. And then I am bringing twirl because I just wanna start that so bad.
Good. Then bring that and just bring that so you have to work on it.
Okay.
And, I am not coming on Wednesday. I can't come till Thursday. That's changed, so there you go.
Well, at least you're coming.
Um, yes.
And we have,
This this
2
hair is
more that
bothering me right there.
2 more that are coming on Friday that can't come on Wednesday or Thursday. So,
Cool. Okay. And when is, Jolene coming?
she will be here on Tuesday, and she wanna know what time I want her here, and I said, "Whatever works for you." But if I can get us in there to set things up, then she needs to come a little earlier than whatever works for her. So,
That's okay, she can handle that.
yeah. She'll be
Well,
coming
I
to Louis,
go ahead.
so that's not bad.
From St. Louis? Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
So I I tried to talk Sheila into coming down south, like I-70 just towards you,
Yeah.
but I don't know. I mean, then I said, "You can come here," but now we're having our ceilings done, so I don't know what's gonna happen, but
Paula's coming.
yeah, I heard.
Yeah, she wasn't going to. She had changed her
So,
mind and she changed it again, so
yeah,
she's
Paula changes her
coming.
mind sometimes.
Yeah, it happens.
Um, yep. So, it'll be fun,
Yeah.
and so, twirl is a paper piece, right?
Yes.
Or swirl, twirl, swirl?
Twirl. Yeah. Looks like who is the lady that does it? I don't
I
remember.
have no idea.
I don't either. But
How big? That's like 90 by 90?
yeah, I think so. Looks like a big windmill blades.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'll be fun. I need to figure out what I'm gonna do. I don't know. I don't know. I still haven't done the applique on that quilt that I brought to the last retreat, but
Oh, yeah.
I didn't like doing it. And my machine didn't do it very well either, so I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Um,
How I'm gonna finish that. I don't understand how people can make really pretty applique with a machine because the machine is stupid and it doesn't work very well. So there's
so
my thought for the day.
what that's very negative. So what part is the problem? Where's the problem coming in?
Well, I'm trying. It's just. I mean, I don't know.
Oh,
I'm not going to do a button stitch because those don't. Unless you do it perfectly, it looks bad. And so when I was there last time, I thought, well, I'll just do like a really, really, really small zigzag, but that didn't look very good either. So then I bought the um, monopoly thread,
yeah.
but I haven't pulled that out yet. So
So
that's the next.
if you do the buttonhole stitch or whatever it's called, or the applique stitch, and it goes takes a couple of stitches and then over and
Yeah,
then back and a
back.
couple of
Yeah.
stitches. Um, if you do that and take a tiny bite out of the applique part, does that look okay?
It looks the same as
Oh,
well, and I have to say, one of the things I don't like is that um, the thread the thread colors need to match way better than they were.
okay.
And so then I was taking just doing a straight stitch, and that's kind of what I ended up doing is just do a straight stitch. And if I do, I think I'll do that with the monopoly and see if that works. And if that doesn't work, I don't know. I might just pull out a needle and thread and finish it.
Woo!
I know. I mean, I just don't like machine applique. It just doesn't do anything for me.
I don't like it either, and I don't know how to do hand applique.
Well, yeah, you do.
Come on. Well,
Well, I mean,
that's the only one I've ever done, so I should give myself
well, and yeah,
an
and you were didn't you start doing or you were just doing hand work, you weren't doing hand applique?
oh, you know what? I am trying to embroidery a quilt, hand embroidery barn quilt, and I'm doing everything it said to do, and, I hear people say, "If I can teach an 8-year-old, you can do it," and I'm like, "Okay, but I've been doing this since I was a kid. My mom taught me how, but my stitches always look terrible." So I have this vintage baby quilt top somewhere around here. It's so cute, and it's all hand stitched, and the stitches are beautiful.
Applique?
Embroidery.
Embroidery. Okay, well, I'm
Yes.
talking applique.
Okay.
So, and I think you can do I don't know. I just don't und I'm just not a fan of the fusible raw edge applique
I know, but,
because you gotta
like, I
finish
have
it
that
somehow.
Erin Russ what's her name? Erin
Russert
Russ. Uh-huh.
Russert
Yeah. I have her, my tweets that I have had for about 17 years, and I have it all kitted. I have it all printed out on, whatever size it needed to be for the block, and for the life of me, I cannot do those silly birds. And that's
yeah.
the whole the quilt's called My Tweets. I have
Well,
to
well, I pulled out, I've got 2 pretty significant applique quilts that I need to do, and, and I haven't done them, so I just need to do them too.
yeah.
Well, boy, we're just really, batting 1,000 today.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Well, uh,
So, we're gonna take a little break before we invite our guest on, who is Patti Meier, the owner of KC Maker Studio in Kansas City, Kansas. I think she's in Kansas City, is it? I don't know. I don't know how those towns work.
yeah, it's real close.
It's either Overland Park or Kansas City or something. Anyway, she's a Kansas girl, or she lives on that side of the river.
Yeah, it's Mission, Kansas, so
Mission, Kansas. Okay.
yeah.
But it's a
It
really great quilt studio.
yeah, it's beautiful. Love that store.
Um, okay, so we will be back.
Okay.
So we are back, and we have Patti Meier of KC Maker Studio. She's the owner of KC Maker Studio, and it's in Kansas City, Kansas, but it's actually Mission, Kansas. Is that correct?
It's Mission, Kansas, yes.
Mission, Kansas. Um, and it's a fabulous shop. It's a must go when you come to Kansas City. And actually, being from Colorado, I think there's been a couple of times that I've been in there where I've seen people from Colorado in there while I was there. So, so people know
Yeah.
about you.
Yeah, we get people from all over the world. It's pretty amazing.
Excellent.
Exciting.
So, why don't you tell us tell us tell us your pre-quilting life. What
My
did you do?
pre-quilting life. So I worked in human resources for 25 years. And I originally got my degree in textiles and then promptly went to work in corporate America in human resources. And so I always did something on the side that was sewing related and eventually quilting related, where I had some kind of side business. But I had a corporate job that, paid the bills. And so I stayed there. And it wasn't until I got remarried in 2015 that my husband said, "Why don't you do what you want to do?" And that's when Casey Maker Studio was kind of born.
Excellent. Um, so tell us about okay, tell us about that.
Tell us about that. Well, so I originally started my business as a retreat center. So I had a retreat center actually in my home. We had bought a large older home that had lots and lots of extra space that the two of us didn't need. And so we hosted groups of up to 8 people, and they came and they quilted for a weekend or a week at a time. And we did that for about a year um, before I decided that I wanted to buy a long arm and start quilting for people. And so we continued with the retreats, but I also then had a long arm up in our carriage house apartment that I quilted, and I spent a lot of time quilting. And then anytime we didn't have a retreat, I started having sew days in that retreat space. And quilting friends would come over and sew, and friends that wanted to learn to quilt would come over, and I would help them kind of start their quilting journey and teach them what I knew. And throughout that, I had people that said, "Where did you get that fabric that you're using?" Because I was quilting with primarily bright modern fabrics that were not available in Kansas City at the time. And I ordered pretty much everything online. And when I told them that, I said, if you would buy that fabric, we would buy it from you." And it just happened that the quilt market was in Kansas City spring of 2019, um, right about that same time that that was all happening. So I decided to go to quilt market and see what it would take to actually start carrying fabric and selling fabric. And that's really how we got our start selling fabric, is that I went to that quilt market and I bought a lot of fabric, not knowing what I was going to do with it or where I was going to put it. But you know how we are with our fabric as quilters. You see something
Mhm.
pretty and you want to
Yeah.
take it home with you. And so
Definitely.
once it all started arriving, which is a 4 to 6 month cycle for most fabric lines, it started arriving, and suddenly I was like, "Oh wow, this is not going to fit in my basement." Um, and then that's when I convinced my husband that I needed a storefront to actually open a shop. So, it's come a long way since then, because we opened in July of 21, in a space that was about 4,000 square feet. And now we're in 12,000 square feet and are in the process of expanding to 24,000 square feet. So
In the same building?
In the
Or are y'all
same
moving?
building. So we're in a strip mall, and so we have moved, from one smaller space to a larger space in the strip mall, and now we're taking the lower level below us, so we'll be 2 stories.
Oh, wow.
So,
Excellent.
yeah, it's exciting. It's a little scary, but
Yeah.
exciting.
I like to hear that you, started out as a long armor, um, because I think that that's pretty cool. I mean, we're both long armors, and I think
Uh-huh.
that that kinda gives you a little bit, a different perspective on quilting too, so that's kinda interesting to hear.
Yeah, and I
Do
still
you
love the
still
long arm.
long arm?
I do still long arm. I still have one at home that I use. We no longer do retreats in our home, but I have a long arm there and I have a sewing studio there that I love to be able to spend time in. I don't get to long arm at home as much as I'd like to, but I still do quilts for customers here in the shop. We have um, 3 long armers on our staff that quilt quilts for customers, but I often will go back on someone's day off and just continue to quilt quilts for customers here, or if someone's finished for the day and goes home and there's still a quilt that's not finished, I'll finish it for them. So I love to still have my hands in that. It's kind
Excellent,
of the fun
excellent.
creative
So,
part of it, don't you think? The design on it,
yeah,
the
you
whole
get to
quilting
you
process.
yeah, you look at a quilt a little differently than I think somebody who's just a piecer because you have to
Mhm.
kind of
Right.
put it together with the quilting.
Right.
So, your KC Makers has currently it has mostly modern fabric.
Mhm.
You also sell long arms. Is
We
that
do.
correct?
We
Do
do.
you
We
sell
sell
sewing machines
handy
also?
quilters. Yes,
Okay.
we sell handy quilters and then long arms, and then we sell brother sewing machines. Um,
Okay.
and we started out
And you have a
selling.
huge go
Oh,
ahead.
we started out selling, handy quilters in 2023, um, and I don't know about you guys, but to me, that was a very intimidating thing, even though I had bought a long arm myself, to tell someone else, "You want this and you wanna buy this expensive machine," um,
Yeah.
was very
Yeah.
intimidating, um and so I was very hesitant to take that on, and then, but we did. They convinced us that we should do it, and, last year, we were the Handy Quilter Partner of the Year for North America, so we sold the most machines in the US and Canada last year
Oh,
in our
wow.
little shop
Wow.
in
Excellent.
Mission, Kansas.
That's
So,
Yay.
great. That's
yeah,
great.
so crazy, but yeah,
And
sewing machines, embroidery machines, all of that through Brother.
excellent. And you also have a huge sewing space.
Yes. Yes, that was really important to me in opening a shop because to me, the best part about a quilt shop is the community, that forms around it, and I felt like having that community space that people could come in and do sew days, come in and take workshops, all of that, it's my favorite part is getting to see all of those other quilters and talk to them and be inspired by their projects, and so we have a large classroom that currently seats 40 people. um, we have a small classroom that seats 12, and then we have a kids classroom that seats 8 people. So we have 3 separate areas in our current location where we can bring groups in and they can sew or quilt or, take a class.
And what's going to be when you expand, what's gonna be downstairs?
Mhm. So in our lower level, we're actually gonna be moving our machines down there. So our, the front of that space will be like a machine shop. So all of our long arms will be on display there, all of our brother machines, embroidery, and all of the notions and supplies that go along with that side of the business. And then behind that section, we will have multiple classroom spaces of varying sizes. Our kids' classroom will move down there into a space that's ADA compatible because our current kids' classroom is not ADA compatible. So if we were to have a child that needed any kind of special accommodations, they would not be able to get up the stairs to that classroom, and we would have to hold the class in a separate space. So it was
I
really
see.
important to us that we were able to change that and make it accessible to everybody.
That's great.
And then we offer, we're a Girl Scout of America partner, and we do a lot of programs with the Girl Scouts. So we'll have a classroom that is for our Girl Scout events and our party events. So we offer crafting parties where kids can come in and do a craft or a sewing project as a part of a birthday party. And then we'll have our large classroom in that space. And then we'll have a lecture hall in that space where we can do trunk shows, quilt shows, vendor events, all of those things. Lots of room.
Yay.
That's
Yay.
that sounds very exciting.
So, when you move out of the main part, does that mean you're gonna have more fabrics up in
That's
the other?
right. So
Yay.
since those classrooms are moving down, those spaces will open up, and it's our goal really to be able to make the shop flow a little bit better, where there is wider aisles to get through. We find ourselves with big crowds at sometimes, and it's really difficult to get through the store. So we want to open up those and spread out a little bit, but then also have room to bring in, obviously, additional lines. And one of the big areas since Joann's has closed has been notions are flying out the door, and a lot of requests for notions that we don't necessarily normally carry as a quilt shop. Even though we already carry apparel fabric, a lot more folks that are looking for apparel fabrics that they cannot find anymore. So we want to have room to bring those things in, to bring in more patterns, to bring in those buttons and specialty zippers and things like that, that those garment sewists and all of our cosplay folks that they need in order to be able to, continue their craft. But probably more quilt fabric too.
Yay.
Have
But
you
apparel
seen
fabric's great because, I that's how I started out was garment,
Mhm.
construction, and, so I could always go to Joann and find something that I,
Mhm.
could use, but, then then I got into quilting. I haven't really done that, but it was always good to know they were there if I wanted to make something,
Yeah,
so
sometimes you need, like, to repair a garment and you need a hook
yeah.
and eye or you need a snap or, there's so many different things you need in apparel, making that you don't need in quilting, and then
Mhm.
now those things are just really not accessible to folks.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
we're lucky to be in a large city, but in,
Mm.
smaller communities, it's even harder to find those things now.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I also got my start in apparel. I That's what I did, primarily for 30 years was apparel. So for me now, I just feel kind of like it's important to be able to support those folks too. I still
Yeah.
enjoy doing apparel. We still teach a lot of apparel classes here too. So, expanding in that area I think is a good option.
Okay. And do you have online sales also? Do you have a website?
We do. Everything we sell in the store, is available on our website as well. So people can shop from anywhere and we ship daily. So it's a pretty quick turnaround when people place an online order.
Okay, so you have a whole lot going on.
Mhm.
Um, how do you do it all?
Um, I am one of those people that doesn't like to sit still. So I go from the minute I wake up till the minute I go to sleep at night. So that's how I manage it. But I love it. So I feel like it's a labor of love. I wake up in the morning and I can't wait to get up and go to the shop and work. Um, and I certainly didn't feel that way when I was working in human resources. So it's
Oh.
it's a different feel to go to work now and be surrounded by things I love and such a great staff of people that work with me. And that's how it gets done. I obviously am leading this team, but I have a wonderful team behind me. So we have 4 managers that work in the shop that work various days of the week to cover the store, open to close. So I don't actually have to be in the store. We have a great staff of teachers, and then we have, I think, like right now, about 12 part-time folks that also work on the sales floor, assist customers with their purchases, all of that. So I couldn't do any of this myself. It's those people behind me. They don't get enough credit, I don't think. So I dream it up and I buy a lot of fabric, but they make the rest happen.
Well, I know when I've been in the store, they've been very helpful and they're very friendly and they have a sense of humor, so that helps.
Yeah, I think the most important thing, that I took from my visiting other quilt shops, was that as a younger quilter when I started, there were a lot of shops that kind of ignored me because I must not be a quilter. I was too young to be a quilter or something. I don't know. But I found many of them to not be very friendly. And
Mhm.
so that's one of the things that we have kind of instilled in every person we hire is that the number one thing is to get to know the customers, to greet every person that walks in the door, and to be as helpful as you can be with whatever they need because we get all different skill levels of people. Some people are brand new, some people know way more than me. But everybody has questions from time to time. And it's like you just want them to feel like validated that it's okay to ask a question. Um, and not feel, like, embarrassed to ask a question, to be made to feel like, what they wanna know isn't important. I just never want anyone to feel that way in our store, and so we really work hard with our staff to make sure that, it's a fun place to be, that they're happy, that they're friendly. They have to enjoy being here to be here and make everyone else want to be here too,
Yeah, it's
Well,
a
you
good
do a
and it
good
makes
store.
it
job of
fun.
that.
Yeah, it's a
Makes
good
it so
store.
fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
But and also, that kinda goes back to your focusing a lot on children and young and
Mhm.
kids. Do you see the numbers really increasing in young people and kids being involved?
Yeah, so, I mean, to me, um, the most important thing is to involve those younger folks because that's the future of quilting, right?
Mhm.
We're all gonna die off at some point, um, and so if we don't teach that to the younger generation, then the craft will go away. And so I want those young people involved. I know that for many of them, they might learn to sew now when they're 7 to 10 years old, and then they might not touch it for 30 years. But I know that it's something that once you learn it, I feel like people often come back to it in their later years when they have more time again because,
Right.
high
Yeah.
school's busy, college is busy,
Mhm.
raising a family is busy.
Yep.
Um, but then you find yourself with an empty nest and more time, and often that's when you start picking up hobbies again, and preparing for retirement when you want to have something to do so that you're not, sitting in front of a TV 24 hours a day.
Yeah.
Right.
So really instilling that knowledge in those kids ensures that they're gonna know whether they like it or not, and then if they enjoyed it at some point, I believe they'll come back to it again, even if they stop for a period of time. But we're finding that it's in high demand. We have Girl Scout events pretty much on a weekly basis with a troop coming in to learn to sew. We have kids classes that are, constantly sold out. I think we have 6 different sessions going on right now. Um, and all of them fill up and they just re-enroll for the next session as soon as they finish one, and then new people are starting all the time. So it's really great to see how excited they are about it. And with the lack of that education in the majority of our school systems now, um, it's a place that we can kind of fill that gap.
That's excellent. I know that from the, Kansas City Regional Quilt Festival, we've talked to a couple of young people, the, Lorelei from Pigs in a Blanket Quilting
Yeah,
and the young girl from Wichita, Angela. Angela, is that I think that was her
I
name,
think so, yeah.
that's
the
very
designer,
interested
the
in,
pattern designer,
promoting.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
so it's good to see it. I was at a dinner last week, and there was a couple that was sitting across from us, and she was like, "Well, isn't quilting dying away?" And I'm like, "Yeah, not really. We're we're still going strong."
Yeah, I mean,
So
I
my
feel
next
like 10 years ago, people really thought that sewing and quilting was dying off, and the craft industry overall had kind of was going through a slump. But, the one thing we can credit COVID for is that people took hobbies back up, and they've continued
Yeah.
them. So, we're seeing continued growth, month over month, year over year, and, I don't think it's just our size. I just think there's just so many people, because I'm seeing it in the friends with yarn businesses and needlepoint businesses. They're all seeing growth cycle. So I really do think people are picking those crafts back up and continuing them.
That's so good. That's so refreshing and good to hear.
Mhm.
I just think that, if people understood what a stress reliever it is, I mean, it can to be creative, to use your
Mhm.
creative brain to do things, they just don't they just some people just don't do that, so and they don't like my former mother-in-law, she never did anything, she didn't have any kind of craft, so I
Mhm.
can't and my mom did everything, so I can't understand not doing something, you know?
Yeah, and I've seen both sides of it. My great-grandmother taught me to sew, and then my grandmother sewed. My mom sewed, but only out of necessity, because that was what she could afford to put clothes on our backs. But the
Right.
minute that we could afford to purchase clothing ready-made, she didn't wanna touch a sewing machine again ever in her life because she found it all very
Yeah.
frustrating. Um, and she has come back
Mm.
to it, and I've gotten her to make a couple of quilts, but, she'd prefer to buy a quilt than to make a quilt or to have me make her a quilt, better yet. Um,
Right.
but yeah, but
I
she knits, so she does still have a creative outlet because she knits. So,
Oh, yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
one one craft doesn't fit everybody, but it's always nice when you have something.
Right.
um, One of our
Yeah,
guy
something.
quilters
Yeah.
who is really, really fun, he retired, and he read an article that when you retire, you need 7 hobbies so that you have something to fill 7 days out of the week. And so quilting was one of the
Oh.
7.
things he decided to do. He does woodworking and he does cycling, he mentors youth, he does Toastmasters, he's all these different things, but he quilts. And, so he comes in and does sew days with us, has taken a lot of classes, has made quite a few quilts now, and
Ooh.
it was something he had never ever sewn his whole life, and came in and took a quilting class and, excels at it, so you just never know, but I thought that was a great concept to think about retirement that way, to have this many things to do so that you always have something to do.
Yeah, because speaking from someone who's retired, you can sit on the couch and watch TV all day if you're not careful, you know?
Yeah,
So you do need to have
Yeah.
something going on.
yeah, keeps you
So
active.
that's a good
It
idea.
right, and keeping your
Yeah.
brain going too,
Mhm.
Yeah.
because if when you stop thinking hard, things go away too.
Yeah, that's very true,
Um,
Donna.
uh, okay, I had another question, I have to remember what it was. Uh, oh, have you seen a big difference in the last I don't know, the last 6 months or so, with the tariffs and all that kind of stuff? How is that flushing out?
Um, yeah, tariffs. Um,
You don't
I
have
mean,
to
the
say anything if you don't
impact
want
is
to, but
huge.
is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. I feel like companies kind of absorbed them for a little bit, and then slowly we started seeing them being transitioned to our cost, and it's definitely, increasing costs of fabric and notions and whatnot, and more, we're seeing those pass through. The price of fabric from when I started 5 years ago, 4.5 years ago, to now, it's dramatic. I mean, it's a huge increase. And then you have those tariff costs on top of that, which, those tariffs, they don't just hit us at the end result. Those tariffs hit all the way through because, you know, the cotton might be made in the US, but then it's shipped to South Korea for printing and then it's shipped back. And there's different fees along the way that keeps increasing that price of that fabric. And so, you know, everyone thinks it would be great if it could all be done in the United States, but we don't have the technology or the know-how to do that here. Some of these other countries have been doing it for hundreds of years and have so much knowledge and so much expertise in it that, it'll be a long time before we can replicate that here. So
Interesting.
we have to pay the tariffs, and it's a pass through to the customer at the end of the day, and so, um, you know, prices will continue to go up.
Yeah, yeah. Along the same, lines, not along the same lines, but the same area, do you see a difference in how, um, designers and fabric companies and stuff market their people or their fabrics, or is it pretty much the same as it's always been?
Um, Good question. I feel like, I haven't been doing it that long to know what change has taken place, but I will say what we see, consistently does the best in the store, are designers that also market their own fabric, and that's not always the case. So, some manufacturers have designers that create the fabric, and a rep comes and shows it to us, and we purchase what we like. Um, but some other designers, say Tula Pink, everyone knows Tula Pink. She has a really active social media presence and she's always talking about her fabric, marketing what she's working on, what's coming up, how you use it, what you do with it, what beautiful things she's already had made with it. And that drives that customer to us for it. So fabrics that have designers with strong social media presence, um, always do better than the unknowns. So it can be a really pretty fabric and people walk right by it because they wanna go see what they're looking for that they saw already online, and that's what they came in to find. Um so it just sells so much better when that marketing happens, and I think, that wasn't happening 10 years ago, obviously, but
Right,
even
right.
in the last few years, that's dramatically increased, and I think manufacturers are realizing that, and they're really working with designers to better market their products, so it's not even the manufacturer that's doing the marketing, it's the independent, designer that's creating the fabric that's doing more of the marketing for them.
Interesting. And has that changed your marketing too? I mean, social media, how much time do you guys have to spend on that to keep up?
Yeah, well, it was the bane of my existence when I started because I knew I had to do it, but I did not feel qualified to do that. Um, it it's not something I enjoy. I like scrolling, and looking at everyone's stuff, but I don't really like posting much myself. So, um, I quickly hired someone who was good at it. And so we have a staff person who that's their job is social media and they come in and they take pictures of everything that's new that comes in the store. They take pictures of the projects as we complete projects with the fabrics, and they do all of our posts for us for the most part. I throw in something here and there, but they do the majority of it. So, but yeah, it's important. Customers are looking for that, and they see you know, if they see Tula advertising her new product line and then they see us say, "Oh, we have this," they're rushing in to get it.
Yeah.
The phone's ringing off the hook. "Is it there yet? Is it there yet?" So it definitely drives business to have that social media presence, but I still don't enjoy it.
I'm kind of glad to hear you say that because it can be really overwhelming and,
Yeah, I used to wake up in the middle of the night and I was like, "Oh my gosh, I gotta make a post. I haven't made a post for 2 days." And my husband would be like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "I haven't made an Instagram post for 2 days. I gotta do it right now at 1 o'clock in the morning." And, I couldn't sleep if I didn't get it done, you know what I mean? Once it was in my head, I had to do it. So, I'm glad it's not my responsibility now.
excellent. Is your husband involved, with the shop?
He is. I'm lucky to be married to an accountant, and so,
Hey,
I have an accountant on staff at home when he gets home from work to do all of my business. Um,
Excellent.
so yeah, he gets to pay all the bills. I get to spend the money, and he gets to pay the bills.
Oh, that's a perfect relationship.
Yeah.
Okay, Mary Beth, you got any questions?
I don't think I do. I think we've covered everything that I mean, I was so interested when you posted that you were expanding. I was like, "Woohoo, it's gonna be even more fun when we go in there now." So,
Yeah, I
uh,
hope it is. I hope it will be.
yeah, yeah. But
Yeah,
no,
we're
I don't
shooting for the first part of next year for that to open up, so,
oh,
um,
cool.
I have meetings even in the next hour with the elevator company to put in an elevator,
Well, so that's wonderful.
so lots of stuff to happen before we can
Yeah,
open it, but we're hoping at the latest by, like, the 1st of February.
Great.
cool.
Well, we're so excited that you came and talked to us. Like you said, you're a number one store. We really love your store,
Oh,
and
thank you.
we. I'm in St. Joe, so I don't get there very often. But every time I come to Kansas City, I go there. So,
Thank you. Thank you.
and
Yeah, we're having fun, so we're glad people like the store. You know, it's amazing to me every day, the people that walk through the door and the people we get to meet and that we get to help, um, with their quilts. It's just so much fun.
and you can tell that you're community oriented because people want to come there. So you're doing a great job. Not
Thank
that you
you.
need my approval or anything,
Thank
but
you.
you get it.
No, I appreciate it, we work a lot
Yeah,
of hours. It feels good to know that
that people appreciate
what
it.
your
Yeah.
goal is actually the way people are feeling about it too.
Right. Well, once again, this is Patti Meier of KC Makers Studio in Mission, Kansas, and we appreciate having you today. And everybody, you can find them online at kcmakersstudio.com and in Mission, Kansas.
Thank you
I'm gonna.
both.
Thank you.
What an inspiration! We're glad you were with us today. We'll see you next time.